Right, okay. In one of our earlier videos, I showed the use of the instrument cluster calibration device that we've got, which is up here. This is one of the first ones I ever made. And what it does is it calibrates the needles. Okay, now if we can look at these needles here, these are the pieces of paper that were stuck to the cluster when we remove the needles. Okay, now what we need to do is to make sure that these needles go back to the 0 position when activated by the ignition. So when you turn the ignition on, it'll try and do a calibration itself, and then the needle will finish. Now we want the needle to finish, okay, for example on this one, on 0. Okay, now if I knock this one off, so say this one is here, what it mustn't do, what the speedo must not do, is show less miles than they're actually doing. So say for example you were doing 20 in a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit, okay, but in fact your speedo was showing say 14 miles an hour, you're going to get a ticket. Okay, so what we need to do is make sure that this needle calibrates to 0 all the time. Okay, then we know that the speedo is correct. So what I do is I turn it on. So I've got my on off button up here, and if I can just show you, if I turn it on, the system will fire up and it will do a reset. Okay, so the 0 position, the end position is there, which is miles off. Okay, so what I'm going to do is switch it off, and then I'm going to move my needle all the way around and as close as I can get to the point that it was when I took it out. I have to watch the shadow because of the lights. Okay, so let's see how close that is. You have to do that with each one of these. So the system is moving and then it finishes there. Okay, so that is now calibrated to 0. So when the vehicle's doing 20, this speedo will indicate 20, not more, not less. And we do the same with all these others. See that rev counter? That rev counter is off. Okay, so what I need to do, it's too far under. So I turn it off. Okay, and I move it round and try and get it as close as I can. I'll try that. Switch it back on. Okay, and it will finish. We want it to finish 0, so still that's about 100 RPM out. I mean, the rev counter is not as important as the speedo. Okay, so we're going to go around again, all the way around. This time we're going to try and get it to. It can be quite tricky. That might still be too far. Try it again. Switch it on. It'll do a reset. Okay, it's still under. Right, so I just need to come back a tiny amount all the way around. Unfortunately, you have to keep going all the way around to do it. So let's go back to this one. Now I've already got the mark lined up, but it's amazing how far these clusters can be out when they're faulty. Okay, so let's see how we get on with that. If I switch it on, what I can do is reset. Okay, that's within, yeah, that's about 10 RPM, so I'd say that's pretty well spot on. Speedo is perfect, our fuel gauge is perfect, and so is our water temp. So we've now calibrated this, but this is the most important one. The speedo is, when this says 0, when it's actually at 0, it says 0. Okay, and that's it. That's how we calibrate, and we just use an on-off button for this, and that just turns it on and off. Now I can put it all back together, put it in the car, knowing that the speed is correct for the vehicle. Okay, thank you for watching.